A recursive island is an island that is within an island. This happens when an island has a lake which has an island. There are many of these in the world, so I'm just going to give one example. Let's say we go to Ireland here, which is an island, and we go to this lake up here, and I have no idea how to pronounce this. This would be classified as a third tier recursive island, because island 1, lake 2, island 3. Quick interjection, guys, to correct something I said in this video. So for some reason, you don't count the outermost island as lake in the tiers. So the island just mentioned would actually be second tier. This problem persists throughout the video. Just know it's one tier lower than what I'm saying. Now, this keeps going. There is a fourth tier, which is an island in a lake on an island in a lake. Now, these are also surprisingly common. For example, if we go here to Manitoulin Island in Lake Huron, and we go to this lake here, Lake Kagawang, and we see this island, Kakawai Island, this is a fourth tier recursive island because it's island, lake, island, lake. And this keeps going until the sixth tier. And only one sixth tier island has ever been found. And it is in Yathkiad Lake in Nunavut, Canada, right here. And this lake has an island, which has a lake, which has an island, which has a lake, and you can't see it on Google Maps. However, if I go to something like Esri imagery and I look in this lake, you can see that there is an island. So this makes 6 tiers of recursivity. Island 1, Lake 2, Island 3, Lake 4, Island 5, and Lake 6. And somebody has actually flown over this island and photographed it. And so that brings us to the topic of this video. I have been searching for another 6th tier, or maybe even a 7th tier recursive island. And I have found something that looks promising. But I will also explain how it falls short. So if we look up here, this lake, you could see this island, which has this lake, which has this island, which has this lake, which has this island right here. Now you might be thinking, how do we know that these few pixels are an island and not just, let's say, a tree that fell in the water? Now, there is no way to know for certain. However, this is on Google satellite, and if we go to Esri satellite, it is also there. And so this is confirmed by 2 different satellites as being a permanent structure. Although the only way to know for sure if this is really truly an island is to fly over it or go there, which poses its own set of problems. I mean, the closest settlement even to it is 78 miles away. So good luck trying to get here. But anyways, now I'm going to tell you how this falls short. This thing here that I said was a lake is called the Sherman Basin. To be classified as a lake, it has to have its own water level and not be directly connected to the ocean. That brings us the problem with this lake. This here is not a river which goes downhill. This is an inlet from the Arctic Ocean, which means that this lake is actually saltwater and is connected to the Arctic Ocean. This makes it just an inlet, or a basin as they call it, to the Arctic Ocean. So is this island another 6th tier recursive island? Well, it depends on if you count a basin as being a separate water body from this ocean, but most likely not. However, I'm convinced that there is another 6th tier and maybe even 7th tier recursive island in the world, and I will keep my search, and maybe you can search too. If you find what you think might be a 7th tier recursive island, leave it in the comments and I'll probably make a video on it. And now, I was actually doing a little bit more research and I found this Google site right here. And it is talking about a 4th tier recursive lake that they found. And so it is right here in Quebec in and it is on this island here, and it is in this lake, and it is on this island. And you can't see it on Google Maps. Actually, you barely can. But if we go over here, again, to Esri or Mapbox on OpenStreetMap, and we go in here, you can see, here it is right here, and it could potentially have another island in it. But the website mentioned the fact that most likely this could be like an algae growth or something like that. And so it could only be confirmed if somebody actually went there and flew over it. But there is another potential 5th tier island.